Now, in many ways, Namibia is doing really well. It's mineral rich, a higher middle income country. But as with so many nations, inequalities are starkly apparent, and that leads to frustration. SWAPO is, though, offering change. It's fielding Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, who, if successful, would be the country's first female leader. But SWAPO is facing the rise of the rival Independent Patriots for Change Party, or IPC. For a look at all of this landscape, Crystal Orderson, Southern African analyst, joins me now with more. Crystal, thanks so much for making the time to speak to me. Now, first of all, what for you are the key issues at stake and at play this time around for Namibian elections?
Good evening, Georgina. I think it's a pivotal election for this nation of only 2 million people. We've got about 1 million registered voters. And I think, as your insert had mentioned, unemployment and corruption have been the big issue. So in 7 hours' time, Namibians will go out to vote. But I do think we are going to see some level of change. I do think that SWAPO has been in power since 1990. There's also been like a ruling party, have taken for granted some of the pivotal issues that needed to be addressed. And I do think that the opposition will make some inroads. And we already saw that in that 2019 election, SWAPO had in fact lost its majority in that vote. So we do see 15 candidates, only 5 expected to really draw some serious level of support. And Triple N, as they call her, the 72-year-old SWAPO candidate, if elected, will become the first female president, not only in Namibia, but also in Southern Africa.
Mm-hmm. So we won't know what the outcome is until Thursday. So that vote's on Wednesday. We're expecting results out a day later. But whatever happens, do you see a common thread through the pressure that SWAPO has faced throughout the run-up to this election and some other of those sea changes that have seen established parties upended elsewhere in the region this year? I'm talking about, South Africa's ANC and Botswana's BDP.
Yes, I think this year has been quite a sea change for Southern African nations. This is the last part of Africa where liberation movements have still been in charge. Namibia, South Africa, Mozambique. And we've seen South Africa started, of course, in May, where Africa's oldest liberation party was voted essentially out of power. And their majority, in fact, they lost it and they had to form a government of national unity. We saw a couple of weeks ago the same with Botswana, the BNP being voted out of power after 60 years, Georgina. Again, Mozambique at the moment in a political flux. And so therefore, one cannot underestimate that SWAPO may not be the party in charge in the next few days. I think in Botswana, we were all saying, well, the opposition are strong enough. But in fact, people came out and we saw the ruling party only get 4 seats after ruling a country for more than 60 years, Georgina. So I do think that one has to look at what's going to happen in Namibia. The fact that there's high youth unemployment, young voters don't feel this attachment to liberation movements anymore. They want change. They want to be part of the global world. And when corruption and when you're part of the ruling party and you're able to get the elite kind of the redistribution, and that redistribution is not filtering to the masses, I do think the vote is the one opportunity where you can bring about change in that country. And so I do think the next few hours, 24 hours in Namibia, absolutely pivotal to show which direction the country will be moving in.